fellow rosarians, thank you for joining me. I am ready to prune standards, and just as an update, my standards did so well this year using that pool noodle around the trunk to get them through the winter. So if you're getting some standards, please consider doing that for winter. It was so easy to protect the roses. But look at this overgrown baby. I've got a little bit of dieback on the canes. This is going to be so quick. All right, so what do we need? Of course, our gloves, because I want to defoliate the rose to give it a really good start. My dormant spray, my pruners, alcohol, and bonide sealer. Same stuff that we use when we're doing a shrub. So shrubs we cut to 24 inches or so off the ground, but I want you to think about your standards, because think about when they arrive. When they come to your house, they have these teeny tiny canes that are, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches or so, and you think each flush they're going to put on at least a foot and a half or so. So you don't want something that's so totally overgrown. Each time it flushes, we're going to cut it back by a third, but to start it off for the season, I'm going to cut it way back, very similar to what it looked like when you received it. So first to start, we've got our pruners. I'm going to clean these babies, and then we are going to take out anything that's dead, disease, damaged. Because the dormant spray is going to take care of suppressing any funguses that are on here for me. So let's go ahead and look for more dead. All little tiny growths. I'm putting them in my, my little pop-up bin here. So any canes now that are black, go ahead and get those cut back. But it looks really healthy and happy. Do you see all of this growth on here? All right, so now that I have taken care of that, oops, I see a couple more up here now that I just want to get out of the way so that I'm not even factoring that into the cuts, into the cuts that we're making. All right, so now that we've gone that far, let's go ahead and bring down the height on the entire shrub. And where I'm looking to cut is, you can see the nodes on here. I'm putting my hand in here and hopefully I can zoom in on this, but you can see the nodes coming out, and you're just going to go a little bit above those, not cutting it so close, but I would say a 1/4 of an inch up from each of those to start. So we are going to cut back. Well, and I want to think about the overall shape. I really want to try to get a rounded shape, although I'm never going for perfection, because I'm not going to reach it. So I just get close. So let's go ahead and start up here first. So now I'm just kind of walking around and thinking about when it gets its first flush off of this, I just don't want it to be too wild and crazy right off the bat. I want it to be kind of compact, thinking if it gets a foot of growth, it's going to be at least up here off of that first flush, and I'm fine with that. So we're going to cut off everything right now just so I don't have to defoliate the leaves. Let me move to this side. If I was looking for every cane, anything that's smaller than a pencil, I'm not sure if you can see this back here, but this one's definitely smaller than a pencil, but I'm going to just cut it back to the rose. I don't have anything that is crossing right now. Cut that. So I've talked to you before about an angle of a cut. It really doesn't matter, and I'll tell you why. I think that the natural angle of your pruners is at an angle. So try that one time when you're pruning. Whether you're in the rose bush, you'll find that you're at an angle, or in this case where I'm coming up, I think it's really hard to get a perfectly horizontal cut unless you're trying. And if we also keep in mind that one of the new things that I'm doing anytime I make a cut is I'm using that bonide sealer, and we're going to use that in a second. Ignore the container, but prepare yourself. I think it really did. It gets really dirty with a black tar. Just deal with that. But we're going to put this on top of the canes. So in that case, it really doesn't matter what the angle of the cut is because this is going to be protecting it. But even if you didn't put on the pruner sealer, water is not going to rot the canes. It just doesn't happen. So anyways, looking at the overall shape of this, I've tried to make it a little bit, let me look at this one here. I've tried to make the canes here at the front angled down a little bit. We've got one that's a little bit higher in the center. We're going to call this one done, folks. I'm going to turn it for you real quick so you can see around it. See that? I'm going to seal this now here real quick. And this just protects the canes and also makes sure, depending on what time of the year that you're doing this, I did have a terrible problem last year with cane borers, and a fresh cut has this beautiful white beacon of the pith, and I'm telling you, these bugs, especially during the heat of the summer, within minutes of me cutting it, they're rushing over to it to see if they can bore into it. So it's just a good habit to get into, to seal these canes. And it just takes a second to do, and then gives you another opportunity to look it over pretty good. I'll even get the old cuts here just so I know that I dabbed them, although you'll find that in the event that you miss sealing it, that they will harden up almost to a woody appearance where nothing can get into it. It's just too hard for the bugs to cut through it. All done. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to take my dormant spray. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to spray down the top of it, and we're going to go around every single side of it just to douse it really good till it's dripping. And we're also going to go down the entire trunk. And what does dormant spray do? Dormant spray kills any overwintering bugs, and it will also, and that's one of the reasons why you want to defoliate, to make sure you get off any of those leaves, because they will really hunker down underneath the nooks and crannies of the leaves. But it also suppresses funguses. So if you struggle with black spot like I do, dormant spray is going to be a really good help for you. Now, final note, you're going to want to make sure that you use dormant spray when it's not going to affect your beneficials. So first thing in the morning, very late in the day. Right now, I don't have any bees. It's just too cold right now. But it's just a good practice to get into to make sure that you're using it at ideal times. I've got 2 more standards to get through. So we'll go ahead and I'll finish the second one really quick, put it on fast forward, and we'll see what this one looks like. Okay. You want to give me your phone? So I did have one decision to make on this. I'm not sure if you can see in here, but these 2 canes are really close, but they're not touching. And here I had a cane that was almost touching. And I just decided I cut this one over here much shorter. You can see it over there, because I want to give it the opportunity to find a new path in life and see if it wants to go a different direction. When I'm looking at this one here, I think I'm still going to leave it and just see what it does this season. And I have now taken and defoliated all of the leaves that were on here. So I hope that in the event that you're new to standards and roses, that this will give you the confidence to be able to take down that height. I know it's really intimidating to do, but I think you'll be really surprised when they start flushing and I show you how wonderful it's going to look. I anticipate that it's going to be up here with all kinds of pretty blooms. These are my Olivias, so they should be the first to bloom this season. We should be seeing them here in about 6 weeks. So I really hope this video was helpful, and if you'll stick with me, if you peek right around that corner here, I've got David Austin standards to unbox, and they will be in a video here to you soon. Thanks so much. I'll see you in the next one.